Hi, I'm Rebecca Ball-Carcel. Let's talk about The Lottery, the short story by Shirley Jackson. The plot is not too hard to understand, except that you don't realize what's going on until the very end. People gather in the town square, then they seem to be gathering up stones, especially the children, and then there's the actual lottery. That means a drawing where somebody is going to win. Now, it turns out that after everybody pulls out their pieces of paper, and there's this elaborate ritual where family units go, and then the actual family members draw their numbers. But finally, Tessie Hutchinson, one of the housewives, one of the mothers in the community, gets the paper with a black dot on it. And she doesn't win anything good. In fact, she is marked to die. The villagers grab up stones and stone her to death. And that's the end. So, why did Shirley Jackson put such a horrifying story together? And what is she trying to say with it? Well, we get one explanation of why this lottery even exists from one of the characters, Old Man Warner. He explains that there's some connection between the corn that's growing and this ritual. So he says, lottery in June, corn be heavy soon. And that tells us that these people thought of it as a fertility ritual, like if you kill somebody, then the crops will be good. That's the only rationale inside the story that we get. So we get this sense of superstition, I guess. And when people talk to Old Man Warner about not doing the lottery and discontinuing it, he says, oh, those pack of fools, those young people, they don't understand and they don't know what they're doing. And other villages have stopped the lottery, but not this one. This one keeps going. So inside the story, the internal logic is just that it's tradition, and we do it because we've always done it, and maybe because it relates to successful crops. Now, outside the story, I think we can look at it and see a couple of things. Obviously, Tessie Hutchinson is just as likely to stone other people when it turns out that she's the victim. Oh, now she doesn't like the lottery. Now she says it's not fair. But everybody else goes along with it, and you have to figure that she would have gone along with it too if it hadn't been her family and herself sacrificed. So you get the idea that everybody's motivation just has to do with the fact that they have a lot of peer pressure, like everyone does this, so of course we're going to do it. Or we could say that they're motivated by tradition. They are not examining the tradition, they just blindly go on and perform this horrific act. And it's sanctioned by all the authorities of the town, the postmasters there, the Mr. Summers, everybody who administers this thing. They have the credibility, that the authority to do this, and people give them that authority. So you could say that the social structure has deemed that someone will die every year, and these people just go along with it. So maybe the story is trying to say people should not just go along with traditions without thinking. Or maybe the story is trying to say people should stand up to authority. When authority is wrong, you should protest. And we might even have a critique of democracy here, because apparently everybody wants to do it, but that doesn't make it right. So sometimes the group may move us in the wrong direction, or just because the group has agreed to do it doesn't necessarily mean that it is moral to do, or necessary, or good to do. Now we also have, I think, a critique of small town life. Shirley Jackson moved into a small town, Bennington, Vermont, as it turns out, where she was never accepted. And knowing that little tidbit about the author makes me think that she was thinking of how cruel people can be. It looks like a sweet little town, but gosh, if they don't accept you, or they decide that there's something different about you that's uncomfortable for them, you might be ostracized, you might be shunned, left out of the society. And it's not the same as being stoned or killed, but you can see the capacity for cruelty, even in what looks like a perfectly sweet, friendly, small town. Now also, if you add this to the history going on at the time that the story was written, we can see that it might be a wake-up call to say that humans are capable of evil. Even Americans, even small-town America is capable of evil. the story is written right after World War II. So America has this good guy complex at this point because America plus Britain has defeated the Nazi forces and Hitler. So everybody feels really like, oh, we did a great job, oh, good for us, and so on. But part of that good feeling only comes when you try to say, well, we're good, therefore someone else is bad. So, oh, those other folks, the Germans and people who went along with the Nazi regime, they're just different than we are. When in fact, they're not different. We're all humans, we're all capable of something like this. We too need to guard against doing things that are wrong. And Shirley Jackson is suggesting that we need to examine ourselves carefully, examine our actions carefully, introspect deeply, and live a conscious life instead of just getting involved in something without realizing it. Whether it's from peer pressure, social pressure, townspeople pressure, national pressure, realize that each of us could be capable of this sort of thing, and we need to guard against it. Well, that's what I think about this story. There's so much more you can explore here. Pages and pages have been written about the symbolism of the names. We have someone named Mr. Graves, for example. The symbolism of the box, the fact that it's black and mysterious and hidden and old. So elements of the story can be analyzed in detail. But this gives a broad outline of some of the issues that I think Shirley Jackson raises. All right, hope you will join me for another video.